Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in Paris. Yes, we are still here enjoying our wonderful holiday. We are having the most amazing time here in the big city. Apparently, Paris has been very busy over the past few days because there has been a public holiday taking place, which of course means lots of people around France will come to Paris to spend time here. Yes, I know, I am standing in front of the most famous monument in Paris, if not the world. I will move over slightly. There it is, the Eiffel Tower. Isn't it lovely? I wish it was brighter in colour. I don't know why. I'm not keen on the colour. It's a kind of dark, dull brown colour. It looks a bit poopy, but at night they do light it up with wonderful illuminations and it does look rather amazing. I think it should be gold. They should paint the whole of the Eiffel Tower in gold paint and I think it would look incredible. If you noticed here, you might notice right now, there is a space. It's almost as if someone is supposed to be standing here next to me. Well, guess what? There is someone standing next to me, but he's not very close at the moment. Come on, it is the one, the only, Mr. Steve. Hello, Mr. Steve.
Hello, Mr. Duncan, or as I call you, Duncan. Here we are, yes, we're in Paris again, and we're standing very close to the actual spot where we did the live stream 2 years ago.
Yes, we had our first ever English Addict Rendezvous very close to where we are standing now. This is where it happened, the first ever one. And of course, Steve, that is the reason why we were here in Paris over the past few days. We've been meeting up with some English addicts. We had our lovely friends, including
Beatrice,
Christina,
Lewis,
oh, of course, yes, Luis Mendez. Move back a bit, Steve, you're in the way of the Eiffel Tower.
and Francesca.
Francesca as well, and Mr. Steve, and me as well. Move back, move over, that's it.
He's always ordering me about.
You don't have to move, you keep getting in the way of the Eiffel Tower. People have come here to see that, not that. If they want to see a big, old, rusty thing that sways in the wind, come to think of it, it could be Mr. Steve, couldn't it, when you think about it? So we've had the most wonderful time. The one thing I have to say, there have been all sorts of things going on here. The public holiday was taking place last week, so Paris was busy. Also on Saturday night, you may have heard about the football match that was taking place. A very dramatic night for Paris in many, many ways. So the reason why we're here, Steve, was to meet up with some of our English addicts. Also, another thing we did, because of course you can't come to Paris, can you, Steve, without eating food. We have had a lot of food.
We have, in fact, just 10 minutes ago, we went into a cafe, the other side of the Trocadero, and we had, what do we have, Mr. Duncan? We had a coffee each, you had lemonade, and also, what's that, Mr. Duncan?
That is the Café Kleber.
Very friendly they were too.
So can I say a big hello to all the staff at the Café Kleber? They were ever so friendly and kind and welcoming.
And what did we share? We had a croque monsieur. Oh, croque monsieur, not a croque. What was it? A croque madame.
Oh, I see.
We had, yes. Croque
So
monsieur
You
is
just,
the...
Steve, you just misgendered that meal.
I did. So normally everyone said a croque monsieur, which is like a cheese sandwich
Yes.
with some ham in.
And an egg on top.
Well, no, we had the croque madame, which has the egg on top.
So what does the croque monsieur have?
It just doesn't have anything on it.
Does it have a giant sausage?
No. No, it doesn't, Mr. Duncan. It was delicious. We had half each because we are saving ourselves for a meal later. We think we are going for an Italian later.
Yes, it does seem strange that we've come here to Paris, but most of the food we've actually eaten has been Italian. But there is a huge choice of restaurants, cafes, bars, all sorts of things around Paris, and we have eaten so much food, not only with us on our own but also with our lovely English addicts as well. I suppose I should say hello to Beatrice, Christina, Luis Mendez and Francesca as well. I hope you all had a very safe journey back. This is our last full day. Unfortunately, we will be leaving on Wednesday as well, and that is the reason why this video is being shown now, because there is no live stream. Instead, you have this beautiful view of two wonderful, attractive structures.
Where are they?
And the Eiffel Tower as well. I suppose it's all right. What do you think of the Eiffel Tower, Mr. Steve? I think, to be honest with you, it could have been a little bit taller.
It looks fantastic, Mr. Duncan. When you get very close to it, of course, it's gigantic. From here, it looks quite small. We've been on a boat trip as well, a hop-on, hop-off boat trip, so you can get on when you want, get off where you want to see all the sights that are near to the River Seine. And we got on near the Louvre, and we went all the way round past all the different sites.
Yes.
And then we got off here at the Eiffel Tower.
We had another view of Notre Dame. Now, we did notice today that they haven't actually finished repairing it. It was very clever. I think it's clever what they've done. They've repaired the front part that everyone looks at. But if you go around the back of Notre Dame, you will notice that lots of it is still being reconstructed. But yes, the boat trip was wonderful, even though it was a little bit hot. Fortunately today we have a lovely gentle breeze blowing by, a beautiful Parisian breeze. So I think we will leave it there for now, Mr. Steve. We've had a good... So if you had to sum up Paris, your trip this time, in one word, or maybe 2 words, or maybe 20, what would it be?
L'amour.
I think that might be the only thing we didn't have here.
Yeah, there are a lot of very attractive people in Paris. I think Paris must contain all the most beautiful people in the whole of France. There are models everywhere.
We saw, can I just say, the other day we were walking around near the same area where we're staying, and we saw, now from my opinion, it was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Now you know what I mean. When you look at those glossy magazines with the models, and they're all looking very sophisticated and stylish and incredibly attractive, I saw the most attractive young lady walking through. She looked as if she had just walked along the catwalk and then straight into the street. She stepped out of one of those lovely fashion magazines. It was incredible.
Yes, Mr. Duncan, everywhere you went, wherever there was an attractive building, there were photographers and models being filmed in all their various poses. I'm far too old, unfortunately, to be a model anymore, although sometimes sort of more senior men are required in certain magazines to appeal to certain demographics.
The sort of incontinence underwear, maybe hemorrhoid cream for your hemorrhoids. Yeah, I think there still might be a market, Steve, for you to become a model. Lots of attractive people all around Paris. We also saw quite a few celebrities as well. We saw John Travolta, we saw Steven Spielberg, on a bus. He went by on a bus. He didn't look very happy, I don't know why. And also Eric Clapton as well. We saw Eric Clapton coming out of a big posh hotel. We think it was him, or it just may have been any old British guy.
It could have been Shirley Bassey. We saw her as well, which was most exciting. She's come away from her holiday home in Monaco to visit us, especially in Paris.
I have to say, I can't imagine Shirley Bassey coming here. It must be like a step down for Shirley Bassey from being in Monaco and then coming to Paris. It must be a bit like taking a lower grade of accommodation.
One thing that's rather disappointed me about Paris is I haven't seen a single Ford Mustang. They're not the most popular cars here.
No.
But never mind.
We saw lots of Mercedes Benz. We saw
Toyotas. Lots of Toyota taxis.
We saw a big Mercedes with a very glamorous looking woman in the back, and she looked like she may have been a film star or a TV actress. And as I went by, I waved at her, and she was in the car, but the window was slightly open, and I kept waving at her, and she looked a little bit confused at first. She sort of looked, and I was still waving like a crazy person, and so she just went and waved back.
And then she tapped the chauffeur very strongly on his shoulder and told him to drive off very quickly.
She did not do that. She was. I probably made her day by doing that. She's probably still thinking about it now. Who was that young, handsome man who waved at me? He could have been my next husband. Anyway, we're going to cut it short now. We've been here for nearly 12 minutes, and I will see you on Sunday with the live stream from the studio. We will be back in the studio on Sunday.
Bye-bye for now.
Thank you very much, and I hope you've enjoyed these videos that I've made in Paris. There will be some lessons coming up as well that I also recorded here in the big, beautiful city. And of course, until the next time we are together, hopefully it will be on the live stream. This is Mr. Duncan and
Mr. Steve
in Paris, in front of the Eiffel Tower, saying thanks for watching and ta-ta for now.